Chapter 15: Establishing Jurisdiction in Pennsylvania. With my mother's financial help, I moved in with my older sister, Christine's ex-husband, Johnny. He lived in the basement, and I moved into the top floor bedrooms while we shared the kitchen on the main level. It was ideal for my small family. Johnny worked long hours as a music professor during the day and conductor by night, so was barely home. I was rehired at Taylor's Music Store as a private music teacher, and I started building up my student base again. I hired a domestic relations attorney, Mr. Don Kohler, on a payment plan and filed custody of my children in Pennsylvania on March 16th. The issue of jurisdiction was the first challenge, so Don filed to keep jurisdiction in Pennsylvania. Bjorn's tantrums continued. One thing I figured out that Bjorn easily got overstimulated. When we were in public, he would throw a tantrum, but once we were back home, he was instantly happy. Recommended from my mom, I got Bjorn evaluated with Chester County Intermediate Unit, CCIU. CCIU came to our home to evaluate Bjorn for supportive services. Though they don't diagnose, they informed me he was delayed verbally and said he was likely on the autistic spectrum. I didn't really understand what that meant. In the evenings, I would often hear Bjorn singing to himself. He seemed perfect to me. I was nevertheless appreciative of the services he got approved for. They said he had poor fine motor skills, so he got approved for occupational and speech therapy. They also enrolled him in Head Start for preschool, which included free transportation. Sunday night, May 19th, while on the phone with Grandma Chris, she toasted her champagne for me.
To an easy delivery and a healthy baby boy.
I asked her, "You think it's possible to have an easy delivery?"
Why, sure.
Oh, okay. Then that's what I will pray for. I also will pray for you to visit. I know it gets awful lonesome for you in Mississippi.
It has been too long since we have last seen each other.
She agreed. It's amazing to me all that has changed in a matter of months. I'm so grateful to be away from Tin Man, and I can raise Bjorn how I desire. I can raise Thaddeus how I desire. The other day, my friend Teresa walked me to the car, carrying the diaper bag and holding Bjorn's hand. It was eye-opening. Something so small, a kind gesture. Never once had Tin Man carried anything out to the car for me.
That's sad, Destiny.
I know it.
I'm glad you're settled now, and I'm glad your parents stepped up.
Me too. But the sooner I become financially stronger, the better. I need to be as independent from them as possible.
Destiny, that's true, but you shouldn't have to feel that pressure. They're your parents. Parents are supposed to help in times of need. I don't always understand your father's motives or why he does what he does, but men are supposed to protect their women.
I know. And if I lived with them, they wouldn't have to be helping me financially. But there's no room.
And your parents have all those people living in their house who aren't family.
I know. But it worked out, though. That house is busy, but living with Johnny is much calmer.
Well, granddaughter, you have your head on straight, but we women are most vulnerable when we have young children, nevertheless during pregnancy. But I know you'll be fine. You got some of me in you.
That's right. I agree. Thanks for the conversation. I'll call you soon. Love you.
Love you too, granddaughter. Keep your chin up.
Pennsylvania will have jurisdiction over Thaddeus once he is born, but Virginia retained jurisdiction over Thorbjorn. So unfortunately, I had to get a Virginia attorney as well as a Pennsylvania attorney. My criminal attorney recommended me to Robin Morgan. My financial situation was dire, but both attorneys understood the circumstances and were willing to put me on payment plans. I was back teaching at Taylor, so it was just a matter of time, and I would start bringing in a solid income. Besides, filing for child support was next on the list. The days leading up to Thaddeus' birth were full. I spent most days taking Bjorn to the park. It was Tuesday, May 11th. Bjorn was running around Sky's the Limit Park with a top hat on while holding a bucket of toys. I had heartburn. My legs and ankles were swollen, and my stomach kept contracting. I was a month away from the baby's due date. In all honesty, I was still in shock about Tin Man and Scarecrow. I tried not to think about them because it just made me angry. Then I'd remind myself, I have the children. I have the best part. It is a waste of time to feel such hatred. So I did my best to keep releasing it. Maybe one day I'll write a book about it, where my pen is my weapon. And the next day, I woke up with a song in my head by the Carpenters. We've only just begun. It was a time to celebrate that I was ready for Thaddeus's arrival. I enjoyed not having a schedule. At this moment, my life did not feel stressful. It felt quiet before the storm. A moment to take a breath. Thaddeus had hiccups. Feeling him move inside of me reassured me he was okay. But last night, I didn't sleep very well. Thaddeus woke up right as I was going to bed. When he moves or gets hiccups, I literally have to brace myself because it can be very strong to the point of bruising my insides or making me feel nauseous. I've been having a lot of fun with Bjorn. He's been waking up in the morning and crawling in bed with me, and then we snuggle. He's been speaking a lot more, coming out of his shell. You hungry, baby? I asked him.
Me no baby. Baby here.
He'd say, patting my stomach. That's right, but you're still be my baby, I said, grabbing him and tickling him. This, I said, rubbing my belly, is baby number 2. You're baby number 1.
No, me no baby.
You hungry?
Yeah, mama.
He'd say, already crawling out of bed.
You come.
I'm coming. Want to go potty first?
No.
He answered quickly. I'd been trying to potty train him. I'm coming. I just don't move as fast as you do. I went downstairs to make him his favorite drink, Shaklee vanilla milkshake made with rice milk. I grabbed a banana and some vanilla Greek yogurt from the refrigerator. He was my vanilla kid.
Wonder Pets.
He chanted. Okay, but you need to be sitting down first.
Okay, mama.
I turned on the show. Who's that, Bjorn? I asked, pointing to the duck.
Ming Ming.
And who's that?
Tuck.
Good job, I said, returning to the kitchen.
And Lenny too.
He said, mumbling food in his mouth. That's right, baby.
I not baby.
You'll always be my baby, I teased back. It was Tuesday, May 18th. I went to my prenatal appointment alone. The nurse would weigh me and I'd close my eyes and say, Don't tell me. I could feel Thaddeus at the top and bottom of my belly. He seemed so squished in there. I'd been very crampy and my lower back was starting to hurt. These were all good signs of a delivery coming soon. I've been drinking a lot of red raspberry tea to prepare my body for delivery. When I got home from the appointment, I crawled in bed with Bjorn. I was tired most of the time. We both slept a lot. I wanted to stay in that space of relaxation. It was peaceful and healing and very much needed after the months of stress we'd endured. Part of me just wanted to hibernate and heal. From the book, Wisdom of a Broken Heart.
Cultivating these spiritual qualities is something you have to do within yourself, and it requires solitude. So if you feel like locking your door, closing the blinds, and retreating from the world, this is probably a good idea. Sit with the darkness, allow it to teach you. This is a very brave thing to do.
Saturday night, May 22nd, Bjorn was already in bed. I didn't want to go to bed yet because I'd been dealing with uncomfortable sleep. Getting up multiple times in the middle of the night, it's exhausting. I'm down to one pair of pants. I feel like I'm going to be pregnant forever. and just get bigger and bigger until I burst like a balloon and I die. I find moments where I still get angry. I'm so angry right now that I have to rely on my parents for help. After what happened in January, I was convinced I was on my own. I now understand how, in addition to the elderly and children, that single women with young children are the most vulnerable people in society. I wondered about the child that was coming. Thank you, God, for my children. Thank you for trusting me with these souls. I am truly honored and humbled. Thank you for supporting me in my endeavors to be settled before his arrival. Amen, so it be. I really didn't understand the legal process. It felt really stressful and urgent, but then at the same time, it was slow. I knew Tin Man had been served from my attorney, and I'd also been served at the townhouse. I hadn't even told Tin Man where I was living, so I believed he had had me followed from Taylor's music store. I trusted everything would get resolved in time. I had a lot of evidence of Tin Man's lack of parenting. Since we moved here 2 months ago, Tin Man has made no effort to visit Thorbjorn, and the infidelity proved what kind of husband he had been. The fact that I left while being pregnant was evident too. Never seek revenge, rotten fruit will fall by itself. That was my motto. It was just going to be a matter of time before the judge understood what type of person Tin Man was and the type of mother I was. My water broke at 1 a.m., so I called Mom right away. Then, as predicted, my contractions started instantly. The contractions were so on top of each other, I had a hard time changing my clothes. I'd get one pant leg in, and then another contraction would hit. I could barely move, so I texted Johnny, "Help!" He came rushing upstairs. "Don't come in," I yelled, breathing hard as another contraction hit. "I'm barely dressed, but the front door needs to be unlocked."
All right, kiddo. Are you in labor?
"Yes," I said, gritting my teeth.
Okay, I'm on it. We'll be back to get you.
"You can come in now," I yelled. Johnny grabbed my packed bag as I walked towards him. "The contractions are really close together. This is how it was with Bjorn's birth,"
I see that.
he said, allowing me to grab his left arm to guide me downstairs. I accidentally dug my nails into his arm until the contractions passed.
Okay, then, that was painful. Let's get you out of here. I don't do babies unless it's my own. Not delivering anything.
He said, pushing me gently out the door. "Bjorn's asleep and Mom is on her way to be here when he wakes up,"
Yep, we got him. Here's your bag. Good luck.
he said abruptly. "Christine's on her way," I said, nodding.
Oh, yeah, she better get here before that thing comes out.
He said and closed the door.
"Hi, how are you?"
Christine asked as I climbed in. "Go ahead and speed." Christine's eyes bugged out as I moaned with the next contraction. I grabbed the handle above the door and pulled my body up, thinking that if I moved, the pain would ease.
"Should it go through this red light?"
I said, bracing as another one hit.
"Okay, your car's coming. I'm going through it."
Christine pulled up to the emergency doors. I got out, had another contraction, and a nurse was there shoving me into a wheelchair. I was taken to an empty room.
"Strip down, put the hospital gown on, and provide me with a urine sample,"
she said, leaving me. "Now?" I said, aghast. The contractions were too close together. When I finally got checked by the nurse, I was informed.
"You're already 9 centimeters dilated. If you don't have the epidural, you can have this baby real quick."
But the pain was too intense. I went from moaning to roaring. The pain had been manageable, but now was overwhelming. May and Kathy walked in as I was screaming. The nurse put an IV into my right hand, and as the contraction peaked, I started screaming and banging my right hand against the bed railing. Christine walked in carrying the bags from the car. When the contraction subsided, Christine looked at me with wild eyes.
And I always thought you were the tough sister.
I started roaring again, peeking at a yell and beating the handlebars with my fist.
Goodness, Destiny, there is blood shooting out of your hand.
Aunt Kathy said. When the nurse came in and saw the problem, she went and got medical tape and wrapped my hand. Aunt Kathy remained calm next to me.
Just give me your pain, Destiny. I'm right here. I can take it for you. You can do it. You're doing just fine.
I want drugs, I bellowed. The nurses could hear from my screams, and eventually the anesthesiologist arrived.
You need to hold very still, Destiny.
Aunt Kathy instructed. After the epidural was administered, the nurse said,
Go ahead and lay back in the bed for the medicine to work.
I lay back and sighed with relief. The hardest part was behind me. The epidural slowed down everything, so the nurses left the room. Christine lay down to rest. It was 3 o'clock in the morning. Aunt Kathy pulled a chair up to the bed, and we talked. I'd had an epidural with Thorbjorn's birth, too. Tin-Man had gotten mad at me for it because he said he was tired. The nurse had me switched to my side, and I felt Thaddeus move down. I asked the nurse to lower the drug so I could feel more. With Thorbjorn's birth, I was so numb I couldn't feel where to direct my focus. By lowering the drugs, I started feeling the tightness in my belly again and knew exactly where to focus and push. I had a female doctor, and she was amazing.
Small pushes.
She encouraged. The room was filled with strong feminine energy. Thaddeus came out all glistening, and all the doctor had to do to make him clean was just wipe him down a little. Then she handed him to me. I was overjoyed. I was so happy. I spoke to Thaddeus in a whisper. Hello, baby. I'm your mama. I'm so glad you're here. I so enjoyed seeing him look up at me and us connect. It was lovely. He barely cried. He was such a calm baby. Christine and Aunt Kathy were crying.
When his hair dries, I think he's going to have blonde hair.
Christine said. At that moment, I got sad, thinking he would look anything like Tin Man. Thaddeus picked up on my shift of energies, and that's when his face contorted and he cried for the first time. I'm sorry, baby. Nothing is wrong. I love you so much, I consoled. Thaddeus was perfect, such a gorgeous baby, and looked just like Thorbjorn had. Thaddeus was 8 pounds, 6 ounces, and the same length Thorbjorn had been, 20.5 inches. I tried nursing him, and Thaddeus did great latching on and seemed content for a bit, then cried out. Because it takes a few days for the milk to come in, I asked for formula.
That's what they do in Mexico, supplement until the milk fully comes in.
Christine said. Thaddeus drank half a bottle instantly and was so content. He was such a sweet baby. I handed Thaddeus to Aunt Kathy to hold. She kept crying and then handed him to Christine. We all welcomed him into our circle of love. My mom walked in while the nurse was checking his vitals.
He's so calm.
She said in amazement.
He's like a little cherub.
I fed him some formula, I said.
Oh, that's smart. After you were born, you cried for 2 days. It's likely because you were hungry. I wish I had known that, but once my milk came in, I nursed you every 2 hours, and in 2 months, you blew up, doubling your weight.
I smiled at my mom. I'm so relieved he is healthy after everything. So many emotions are running through me. I could use a protein drink, I said. I'm really hungry.
I'll make it for you.
Christine said. Thanks, sis. So how is Bjorn?
Oh, he's fine. Looking forward to meeting his little brother. And Paulette is with him now.
She's amazing with him. A mother of boys.
That she is.
Mom laughed. Aunt Paulette had 3 boys. The oldest, my cousin Jason, just 2 months my junior. She plays with him, dances with him, plays with bubbles and colors with him. I think she's more fun than I am.
She's had a lot of practice.
Uncle Mike arrived to pick up Aunt Kathy. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful, I said, leaning in to kiss my aunt on the cheek. She smiled and kissed Thaddeus on the head, who was in Mom's arms.
I'm going to get going too soon.
Christine said,
I need to get some sleep.
Thank you for videotaping.
It's fine. I did get a little dizzy after he came out, so if the camera is a little wobbly, that's why.